Today, we're diving into a raid that happened inside of Dune Awakening that just went completely sideways in more ways than one. The other day, I stumbled into an island where there were 3 bases built up, and I had the brilliant idea of putting together a video where we're going to be knocking out 3 raids in one. At least that's how I envisioned this thing going. I'm going to do my best here to break down the timeline of events that took place. But let's go ahead and jump on into this here, where you can see we're running around this island as I was grabbing some B film, showcasing the 3 bases that we're going to raid. The first one here is just your typical forward operating base, the kind of base that's only being used to temporarily mine in, and realistically, you're never gonna find anything substantial because whatever they mine, they're taking back to the safe zone before they log out. However, that's not always a guarantee because, as you'll see here on the very north side of the island, we have somebody else either setting up or transporting out of their forward operating base. This is the second base that I was planning on raiding. And as you can see, we shoot some rockets at this guy here and kind of chase him away for the time being. And in a situation like this, if you think the potential loot is good enough, you could kind of stay in this area and prevent this guy from coming back and taking his stuff. But honestly, it's not what I was worried about here, because when we go and fly across the island and take a look at this third base, this is the one that looks like it's got the juice behind it. At least it doesn't look like your typical forward operating base, so it definitely piqued my interest. However, even more interestingly, as soon as we rounded this corner here, lo and behold, we run into somebody else trying to transport the stuff either into or out of their base. And with this juicy looking base here, I just was absolutely not having it. We blew this guy's ornithopter up so he could not respawn on it, and then took him out a couple times, and he seemingly either just spawned back somewhere else or just never came back because this ornithopter never got picked up. Now, I thought the process from here on forward was going to be fairly straightforward. However, this is where it started taking left turn after left turn after left turn. My initial thought process here was to stick nearby this base to definitely defend anybody from coming in and taking the loot out of it. For example, if this guy decided to respawn somewhere in the safe zone of the deep desert and grab an assault ornithopter or something to try and fly back here, perhaps, I wanted to be here to prevent him from getting any of the possible loot out. However, this quickly shifted because, as you can see, the first storm rolled through and unfortunately was nowhere near this base, and this became a trend of the day. Basically, I spent the entirety of the day mining and farming inside of the deep desert, and every single storm that would pop up, we were sure to fly back to this base. And I swear it was like 8 hours of storms that swept through and just refused to hit this base. I was literally going to give up, and at this point, I'm mad that the guy didn't come back to get his ornithopter and get his stuff out of the base, because it had been, I'm telling you, 8 hours of me farming in the deep desert all day, and this guy never came back and fixed this ornithopter. He never seemingly came back and grabbed the stuff out of his base. And because, through our farming trips, we would swing by this island, we actually managed to catch another person trying to transport stuff out of the forward operating base here. And this situation took some left turns, but more so, I would say, right turns, because they were in our favor here. I've got no way to explain this clip other than we caught this guy coming out of that very first base that I showed you guys with an assault ornithopter. And I'm going to go ahead and let myself reacting to this clip play out. We reacted to this clip live on stream. I wish so desperately that I had my microphone for it live, because I was devastated for what happened to this poor guy here. Let's go ahead and let that roll. Right, so we've already broken one of his wings. We caught him as he was flying out of his base, transporting a bunch of stuff. And what's getting ready to happen right here is freaking so unfortunate for this guy, but it was just absolutely hilarious, dude. It was something else. So we're only, mind you, like a tile and a half away from the safe zone here. But he has a broken wing. And he does a few panic moves here. And you can see we're still missing our shots pretty decent, but we're also catching them. And this is what I'm talking about with the glide speed of 150 and his broken wing. That other assault ornithopter should have been having a hard time even catching a gap on us. So maybe we just damaged his wing and we didn't quite break it yet, you know, because you can see this one's full broken here. And he's definitely catching some panic moves here. He should really, really be diving and making it harder for me to hit him. And like he turns around like, what is this guy doing for real? And it gets even worse. The choices this guy makes are absolutely insane. If you look on that top bar there, you can see my home base icon. That is only like, this is the last island before we enter the safe zone. And he should have been getting up as high as he can to try and glide to an island in the safe zone. But instead, he like almost hovers over this island like he's going to get out. Which, hindsight being 2020, is what he should have done. That might have been coming through a bit quiet, my bad. So even right here, it's like, okay, he's finally going to bail on his thing. He's got to get out of it, right? Because if he doesn't make it to the safe zone, he's in big, big trouble. This guy, dude, this guy, bro. We just broke, like, the center hull of his ornithopter. You saw that there. His ornithopter is beat down. And he's still gliding. He's still gaining altitude. I mean, like, I was just dumbfounded at this point. I first off didn't know what he was doing. I'm like, you need to cook it to the safe zone, my friend. It's right there. You can make it there, sure. Trying to like head him off even, like, don't even. You're not gonna make it, don't even. And this is where things go from bad to freaking worse for this guy. So he pulls off and does probably the dumbest thing. That island in the background is the safe zone island he needs to make it to. That's where my base is at. Honestly, I don't know why he's not gliding into that island. The more I'm watching this, the less bad that I'm feeling that this guy had happened to him, what's getting ready to happen to him. So you can see he's finally pulling over. Why he decided to pull over here in the middle of the island, I have no idea. Kind of looked like it had a one last final explosion there that it couldn't handle anymore. So now here's my idea to jump out and continue to rocket him, but though you can see we're hitting a zone change here in 15 seconds. Now watch what he does. This is where he makes a big mistake. He is, boom. He's shooting a sniper, so he's drawing worm attention. Now, I don't think he was drawing that much worm attention, so let's see here quickly. I pull out my sniper, and I'm curious as to see if he turns his shield on. Because if he puts his shield on, let's watch. That's what drew the worm to him. I guess I'm not seeing a shield. I'm not seeing anything turned on, to be honest. I don't even know why we're firing at each other still. Technically, right now, we're both in a safe zone. And here's where it gets crazy, this poor guy. Obviously, worms come in, and he's gone. Biggest mistake right there. You see him running away? He Bindu sprinted into the middle of the desert. What are you going to do at that point? You need to, like, have your suspensor belt so you can fly or something. And I'm trying to hang out over here, maybe drawing attention to the worm, you know what I mean? But, oh, this is where you just know there's nothing you could do. Oh, no, dude, there goes his stuff. Oh, it was brutal, man. I felt so bad. Honestly, my intention was never to get that guy eaten by the sandworm. Okay, he's the one who sprinted out into the desert and refused to land on the island. So, look, that was just truly an unfortunate event right there. And unfortunately, it does get a little bit worse from here for us. That is because just as I was about to give up waiting for the storm to break this base's shield and I was about to log off for the day, we finally had a storm break the base's shield, and here we go. The 3 bases in 1 raid is on, and nothing could go wrong. Surely nothing could go wrong, except for it all went wrong. And I do have a bit of a live reaction to all of this, so we'll let myself take it from here. It does look like we are finally going to be able to pull off this raid, though, barring any sort of, like, possible bugs happening with the base shields not shutting off for whatever reason. This sandstorm looks like it's going to hit it pretty direct, though, so I've got high hopes that we're going to be able to get in here. I'm a little bit concerned because if you take a look at as we get into this base, I can't really find a nice spot where I'm sheltered and I can fire this rocket launcher off. We had it before one time. It was like right on the edge, though. See right there. That might be it. That might be it. Hopefully, come on. Please knock this base's shield. Please. It has been 4 or 5 sandstorms that this island has been spared from. This was the ornithopter that we knocked earlier. That base that's over on the other side was the ornithopter that we knocked earlier, and I'm pretty sure is cleared. That was the poor guy that got eaten by the sandworm. I'll have a clip of that in the background. It doesn't look like this base's shield got knocked. Oh, did it? I'm not seeing it, actually. Here we go. This might be it. No, it's clear. It has a shield. Why does this base have a shield? There it went down. It went down. That was it. It just actually went down. Finally, it is showtime. Right on. Let's see if we can knock out all 3 of these bases in one go here. We're going to try and knock out a sub-thief, and before we even loot, we're going to have to fly over to the other side, try and knock that sub-thief down as well. The other 2 bases have small armor, and this one actually has a couple doors that we're going to have to break in. This is definitely, for sure, our #1 priority here. This guy has his stuff fairly well honeycombed. This is for sure going to be the most walls that we're going to need to break down. Oh, it's not even doing damage, dude. Not doing damage to the right thing. It's alright, it's alright. We still have plenty of time here. We should just be able to whip out the sniper and finish it off. We'll shoot like 5 at this door here and then make sure that it is doing damage. I'm not seeing any damage. Come on, hopefully we can knock that generator, and hopefully that generator kills the power. If that generator kills power, we are so good. It didn't. It did not kill power. This guy's smart. You see how he has it honeycombed off? He's got multiple generators all over the place. This guy's playing it smarter than typical. Smarter than we're used to on this server. We got a lot of goofballs on this server. Dude, break. Come on. Okay, now I'm confused. I have access to this storage container. Did I somehow break the sub-thief? Oh! Some more chests. Okay, big confusion. Big confusion coming in here. Let's go. We've got full access to this base. I was all stressed out on time there, but it looks like we have full access to that base. Let's go see if we can pull off the second raid. This guy is the one that we knocked out of the sky, and he got eaten by the worms, so let's go see if this guy's base is still shielded down. I'm like almost certain we've passed our 6-minute mark here, but just let's check. I don't know if that looked like a shield or not. I'm not certain. It doesn't look like it's getting shielded, so let's try and break into this thing here. I don't know why it's not doing damage. Oh, it is shielded. Okay. Well, we didn't get all 3 of them, and that might have been because I wasn't aware that we actually completed that other raid. I didn't see the sub-thief here, sub-thief there, but let's go ahead and let's go and try and get some of that stuff out of there. Let's try and get loaded up. Man, I don't know when or how we broke that sub-thief. Let's go check those hidden chests. See if there's anything juicy in them. Ooh, we got something. We got some more aluminum or some more titanium. We'll take it. We'll take it. A lot more titanium, huh? Unfortunately, we weren't able to get all 3 bases, but like I said, this guy right here inside of this base, we caught him with his assault ornithopter while he was transporting out. And there you have it. You know, unfortunately, we weren't able to knock off all 3 of these bases here. However, we were able to take down somebody's assault ornithopter and get him eaten by a worm, and we did eventually break into this base. So overall, it was another wild day inside of Dune Awakening. Again, we typically run these live right here on YouTube as well as on Twitch. I'll have a link to the Twitch down in the description. Be sure to stop by. If you made it this far in the video, made it down below so I can give you an extra shout out. And do me a favor, hit that like button on your way out of here. You would be surprised how far 1 like would go in pushing a video into the algorithm. But other than that, I hope you guys all have an amazing day. I'm out.